Since beginningless time, prophecy has shaped worlds, societies, generations, and ages. Empires and kingdoms rise and fall in the wake of prophecy.
Therefore, behold, I send you prophets, wise men, and scribes.
Sunday, 7th January 2018.
France, I saw three words: France, military, setback. That's all that there was. France, then military, then setback. And we shall see what that is.
4 years, 7 months later, 15th August 2022, Mali. Following military coups in August 2020 and May 2021 in Mali, relations between Bamako and Paris went downhill quickly. Eventually, France was forced to make a withdrawal that ends a 9-year operation in the West African country. French President Emmanuel Macron decided to move the expelled French troops to new military bases in Niger and Chad. 5 years, 2 weeks later, 22nd January 2023, Burkina Faso. Since coming to power in a September 2022 coup, Burkina Faso's military government has pulled away from France, its former colonial power, kicking out French troops, suspending some French media, and repeatedly accusing French officials of espionage. And on 20th February 2023, the French army officially ended its operations in the West African state. 5 years, 11 months later, 22nd December 2023, Niger. Army officers who seized power in Niger on 26th July 2023 made France's military exit one of their key demands, echoing juntas in neighboring Burkina Faso and Mali, who severed long-standing security ties with France after coups in 2020 to 2022. On December 22, 2023, the last of France's troops that had been stationed in Niger boarded a military plane and exited their country. These series of military setbacks were too frequent to be a coincidence. The global media soon began to realize this marked the end of an era, and that some other power was at work over the Western military powers. We know that this is a supernatural power. The expulsion of French troops from Niger was even more significant, since troops had been moved from Mali and Burkina Faso to Niger and Chad. This displayed the supremacy of the splendor of prophecy over the will of politicians in France and their allies elsewhere. As the New York Times reported, some of France's unpopularity in several African countries stems from its past as a colonial power, and from the post-independence meddling in the African politics by its presidents, a system known as Francophrique, largely motivated by French economic interests. Indeed, it soon became clear that the force of this prophecy was still being manifested on the French military, as Chad, where their troops had been moved, began to be hostile to them. This was followed by other countries like Senegal. These countries exited the France-based security organization G5 Sahel and have progressively formed a new defense coalition which is centered in the region. Surprisingly, the French military suffered yet another setback when the French colonial territory of New Caledonia erupted in pro-independence riots. The French military has also been in the eye of the storm when President Macron suggested deploying them to wage his proxy war against Russia in Ukraine. Through the unfolding of this powerful prophecy, we understand that God Almighty is reshaping Western Africa, France, and beyond. He is ushering in a new dispensation by the splendor of prophecy. Blessed be the name of God forever and ever. For wisdom and might are His, and He changes the times and the seasons. He removes kings and raises up kings. He gives wisdom to the wise and knowledge to those who have understanding. Daniel chapter 2 verse 20 to 21.